Armand Manera is known for their heavy use of burgundy or violet ore, that kind of purple shade. They really like own that color when it comes to their collaborations with Jordan Brand and Nike. But in my opinion, might just be me, I might be alone in an island, but my favorite shoe of theirs so far with Jordan Brand has been the Jordan 5 Dawn, and that colorway used the diffused blue that we don't see as often from Armand Manera. This time, they're giving us another shoe using that same type of colorway. And again, they got me. Armand Manera Air Jordan 3 Fused Blue. And the shoe is dropping on March 15th for $225 in the United States. Slightly higher price. It is a special project, so you can expect more premium materials, so a raised price. And of course, Armand Manera by now has had a ton of Jordan collaborations. We saw the Jordan 3 from a few years ago. Last year, there were 6 as part of the While You Were Sleeping capsule, and a ton of others like the Airships, the Jordan 5s, Jordan 12s, a ton. And we're getting another Jordan 3, and first impressions of the shoe. I love the diffused blue that Armand Manera uses. I love this color combination, this colorway. Yeah, really, really nice. I love the burgundy as well. It always elevates a shoe when that type of purple or burgundy is used and applied. But personal preference, I think I like this the most from Armand Manera. The only thing, if I had to nitpick, is the amount of sail that you see on the midsole. Of course, I don't love sail when shoes shouldn't be like, or doesn't need to be pre-aged, but that is one thing Armand Manera has always used, so I'm not going to complain too much. Overall, just looking at the shoe, pulling it out the box, delicious. They did it again. People might be getting bored by now with Armand Manera collaborations, but yeah, not this guy. I'm still excited. Now, at this time of recording, I don't know like the exact story and inspiration behind this colorway and this drop. Usually for Armand Manera collaborations, they'll have like a very thought out kind of story and motivation behind their colorways. Haven't got that yet from Armand Manera, but you can expect them to come out with that soon. And once they do, I'll add like a comment below, I'll pin it up top to give you more around the details of how they came up with this shoe. And the upper of the shoe on the base layer, it is just white leather. And like a lot of other Armand Manera collaborations, the material is pretty nice. You can see the texture of the leather very, very clearly. It feels pretty soft, but it doesn't feel like flimsy and thin. Still decently thick. It is from Armand Manera. They always get special treatment, so it's no big surprises there. And of course, we usually see the elephant print on the Jordan 3s. They have replaced it with just suede in this dark gray color. And this suede is slightly more on the hairier side, so it's not like super buffed down, like super thin type of suede. And just like the Jordan 3 Lucky Shorts that I reviewed recently, I stated in that video that I actually kind of like the clean look without the elephant print. Of course, it is the most distinct thing about the Jordan 3, but when they just replace it with like a flat color and some other material, I actually don't mind it too much. I feel like it looks pretty clean. Moving on the tongue, it is all leather as well. It is mismatched branding on the tongues. So on the right shoe, you get this Jumpman that is stitched onto the shoe, and then on the left, you get Armand Manera branding. And this shoe does come with one extra set of laces in this kind of off-white color that is the same as the laces out of the box. So I didn't do like a lace swap, but this kind of off-white color looks really nice on the shoe. I feel like the fused blue or the dark gray on this shoe would look pretty good as well, pretty delicious. But yeah, no problems with the laces out of the box. I am a little disappointed though, because for a lot of Armand Manera collaborations, they give us like 2 extra set of laces, but this one, just 1 extra set of laces. Now behind the tongue, we usually see like the product tag. It's not actually there, and this tongue does feel a little wider, a little more puffier than like usual Jordan 3s, but it is mismatched branding there. Now on the inside of the shoe, you do see like that kilted lining that is pretty common for Armand Manera shoes as well. Now I'll get more to sizing and comfort later, but that can affect sizing. Now the kilted lining kind of gives it a more elevated touch, and this setup is more similar to the Jordan 4s from a few years ago, where the insole is also that kind of material and texture as well. The Jordan 3s and 4s from last year, part of that While You Were Sleeping pack, that didn't have that material and texture on the insoles. Now one complaint that I have around this type of texture and material, it is actually a Dreamcell insole. When you put your feet in, you do feel it under your feet, like texture under your feet. It's not a huge problem, doesn't really make the shoe like less comfortable, but it does take a little bit of time to get used to. Now wrapping around the shoe, moving to the booty, you get this sailed booty tab with diffused blue sail like you don't usually love on sneakers when there's no reason to, when it doesn't need to be pre-aged. But sail is pretty prominent and commonly used for a lot of Armamania collaborations, so no surprises there. And it is Nike Air branding, not a Jumpman, even though it's not an OG colorway. Like I said, Armamania usually gets special treatment, and when you pull back the tab, you do see quotes. That is not uncommon for Jordan Brand Armamania collaborations as well. So on the right shoe, you have the phrase, "You have to get comfortable walking alone." And on the other shoe, you get a different phrase, and it says, "All we have is each other." So again, the storytelling of Armamania is insane. A lot of subtle details. I do like that. Of course, this shoe does come with a few extras. So one, you get this Armamania tag, and it says, "Quality goods, handled with care, by street culture, fashion, and the greatest athlete in history." And then the season for the tag, it actually says SPSU 2021. So SP stands for Special Project. SU, not quite sure what that stands for. I know SE is Special Edition, but I don't know what SU stands for. And 2021, not quite sure why they use that year. I think it might be a callback to the Jordan 3 Armamania from 21. I'm assuming that's the reference there. And then approved by Michael Jordan signature. Now that season on the insole, it is actually different. It's got the same type of tag, same like phrasing around the inspired by street culture, etc, etc. Approved by Michael Jordan signature. But for the insoles, the season says 2025. So yeah, slight difference there. Now the Jordan 3 does come with a polyurethane midsole with a visible Nike Air unit in the heel, as well as one in the forefoot. And this shoe, the midsole area, the blue part, it's actually got this kind of almost matte finish, so it's not like shiny and reflective. The rest of the midsole here, it is sail. Again, no surprises there for Armamania collaborations. They use sail a lot. And then on the outsole, on the cutout over here, again, Nike branding, not Jordan branding. Again, not an OG colorway, but Armamania, they get special treatment. And of course, you get this other Nike Air plastic hang tag keychain like that. Do I ever wear it when I'm actually wearing this shoe and leave it on? Nope. I do like collecting them. And the box of the shoe, always fun getting an Armamania box. You see this wrapper. Plastic wrapper with Armamania branding all over. A Jumpman flight box, which is kind of interesting because the flight concept only began on the Jordan 4s. Armamania branded paper inside. And yeah, the box here is not as crazy as the While You Were Sleeping boxes that came with like that cloth. That's really nice. This is more like their general, well not general, but collaborations with Jordan Brand apart from that capsule. Still, very nice box. Now moving on to sizing comfort. I am a wide and flat footer for Jordan 3s. I stick true to size. Fits me really well. Lengthwise, widthwise, no problems. So if you have wide and flat feet, still recommend going true to size. Now, one thing that people might be wary about is because this lining is slightly different inside, it's kilted, not like a usual Jordan 3. I know some people had issues with that type of material on the Jordan 4s from a few years ago, where it became too tight in the forefoot area. I didn't really have any problems. It does feel a little tighter than usual Jordan 3s, but you can wear the shoe kind of loose, break the shoe in. I think you'll be fine. I wouldn't want to go up half a size in these. I feel like it would just be slightly too long and then it'll start creasing really ugly. I still recommend for the shoe, go true to size. And like I mentioned before, because that insole has the same type of kilted texture, might need to get used to it for a bit, but after 30 minutes, whatever, walking around, shouldn't be too big of a deal there. Now in terms of under your feet, cushioning wise, this shoe came out in 1988. So it's not the most advanced technology, it is not the softest like polyurethane midsole, and it is still pretty low to the ground. It was a basketball shoe after all. Even though the cushioning is not as good as modern day shoes, I wouldn't want to walk around in this like every day for like a whole week. But casual use, definitely one of the better ones for a Jordan old retro shoe. And that brings the total sole score of the Armamania Jordan 3 Diffused Blue to 44 out of 50. First to this colorway, I think this is a really nice colorway. This diffused blue with the white and black or dark gray, yeah, I really like it. Like the Jordan 5 Dawn, I love that colorway. Just really like how everything came together. I might actually like this diffused blue that Armamania uses more than like the burgundy or violet ore that they use quite often. Yeah, I love this. I love this. And in terms of the materials, not too much of a surprise for Jordan Brand. Armamania gets usually the best materials, the most premium for Jordan Brand, and this feels really nice. I don't love like quite hairy suede, so that's not my favorite. It's kind of a personal preference though, but for the materials, you can see the texture. I love that. It's not like flimsy and super thin. When you press down, it just feels like it's gonna break and crease really ugly. So yeah, overall materials, really nice. And in terms of the comfort of the Jordan 3, for a retro shoe, it is one of the better ones for Jordan Brand. Don't compare it to like a shoe in 2025, where technology has come such a far long way, but just like wrapping around your feet, kind of feels like a sock. Not the lightest shoe, but casual use, you will have no problems. And in terms of the versatility of the shoe, 3s definitely has crossed over into the mainstream. You do not need to be a sneakerhead to like appreciate this shoe and silhouette. You can look at the shoe on a shelf and be like, that's a delicious looking shoe. Wearability of this colorway, I think this is more wearable than the usual burgundy or violet ore. This color, majority white based sneaker with dark gray, diffused blue, I think is more versatile. And in terms of the storytelling, again, no surprises here. A Ma Maniére always does a great job of storytelling, from the unboxing experience to the minor little details that they stuff into the shoe. Is it as crazy as the While You Were Sleeping capsule? Maybe not, but compared to like a lot of other collaborations and general releases, storytelling here is really nice. I don't know if people are getting kind of tired and bored of A Ma Maniére collaborations with Nike and Jordan. They definitely do put out a lot, and a lot of times they'll just kind of apply the same colors, usually that burgundy or violet ore, on different silhouettes. For me, as long as the shoe looks really nice, it's presented well, they can keep recycling those colors, and I don't think I'll get bored. Or at least it'll take a lot for me to get bored. Now, I'm really looking forward to the Jordan 6s that they're gonna put out later this year. I'm looking forward to that, but in the meantime, very happy with these. So that's it. Thanks for watching. So inclined. Let me know what you think of the A Ma Maniére Air Jordan 3 Diffused Blue. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.